What if LDL cholesterol could also be a predictor of obesity? In a study titled Trends in Serum Lipids and Lipoproteins of Adults 1960 to 2002, they go through a lot of the data. Margaret Carroll is the author, and it was published in JAMA in 2005. And one of the things that they noticed was that between 1988 and 1994, and then 1999 to 2002, total serum cholesterol of adults aged 20 years or older decreased from 206 to 203. And in men 60 years or older and women 50 years or older, the percentage of women and men with a total cholesterol level above 240 decreased from 20% from 1988 to 1994 to 17% during 1999 to 2002. And what they also noticed was during that same time, triglyceride levels doubled. And you know what else went up? Obesity. So when we look at the data, triglycerides went up, which means insulin resistance went up. Obesity went up. Cholesterol went down. What does that tell us? Statin drugs aren't actually doing their job. And they could be leading to insulin resistance, and Alzheimer's has been called diabetes type 3 because it's sugar on the brain. In the book, The Great Cholesterol Myth by Johnny Bowden and Stephan Sinatra, talks about how statins are a lie and we don't really need them because what they're treating is maybe some overall inflammation, but they also cause some nutrient deficiencies and damage to the cell. How do they cause damage to the cell? Let's talk about what you need cholesterol for. The number one thing you need cholesterol for is health of the nervous system. Cholesterol wraps every nerve in your body in this protective coating so that it can fire an electric signal appropriately. And when you decrease that protective coating, you decrease the body's ability to send a signal. And so we end up with peripheral neuropathy, or a lack of ability for the brain to get a signal out to the peripheries, including the digits of the hands and the feet. You need cholesterol to convert vitamin D from the sun, and we know that vitamin D is key to immune health. So for a healthy immune system, you need vitamin D, which means that you need cholesterol. But it's more than skin deep, because if you remember the triangle for your hormones, right? At the top of the pyramid, we have cholesterol, and then we get testosterone, and then we get estrogen. So we need cholesterol to form our proper hormones, and you need cholesterol to produce the hormone vitamin D, and you need cholesterol to digest food, and you need cholesterol to get insoluble fibers out of the body. But that's not all. How does it damage every cell to have low cholesterol? That membrane around your cell, keeping it healthy, keeping it vital, keeping it vibrant, is cholesterol. So now that we know that cholesterol dropped from 1988 to 2002, and we know that obesity skyrocketed in that time, what if we can draw a conclusive link between low cholesterol and obesity? If you're interested in learning more about how they form lab values, read the article, The Normal Range, It Is Not Normal and It Is Not a Range by Martin White, Whyte, published in 2018. You can also read the study Defining Laboratory Reference Values and Decision Limits, Populations, Intervals, and Interpretations, published in 2010. And then you can also look at the book Defining Reference Values for TSH, Nearing Perfection in an Imperfect World. It talks about all the ways that they go in. Oh, and sorry, you can read that one if you can read Spanish, because that's, I forgot that that book's not in English. It might also be published in English because it is also in Italian. But, oh, and it comes in Portuguese as well, because I originally found it as a book published in Sao Paulo, Brazil. You can also request copies from different libraries of books with referencing ranges in them, like Henry's Clinical Diagnosis and Management by Laboratory Methods, original publication date in 1908. And you can look at the population trend data from the article JAMA, Trends in Serum Lipids from 1960 to 2002. And then the CDC NCHS Brief, Mean U.S. Adult Total Cholesterol Study from 1999 to 2002. And then there are many archives that you can also look at that have different reference ranges for a lot of labs, including thyroid markers, liver markers, etc., that you may be interested in knowing a little bit more about how and why. Some people are willing to accept normal ranges, even though either end of the normal range is almost a failing grade. And when we get past that normative value, then we're in crisis mode, and it's a lot harder to fix things in crisis than it is when they're starting to go wrong. And some of us look at a more narrowed range and want optimal vitality for all of you.